Well, it's kind of sort of snowing. Here comes Arwen. She just wants cuddles and snuggles. Okay, darling. I can give you cuddles and snuggles. Goat cuddle. Oh, kisses. I love you too. Goat cuddles and snuggles are an everyday part of life here at Andersen Acres. So, let's talk about what's going on today. A few people have expressed concern over my dad because he had a car accident yesterday. It's okay. He's okay. He has to stay in the hospital for a couple days. He cracked a sternum. And you know, when you got a cracked sternum, they naturally worry about your heart. So they're just keeping an eye on him for a couple days. He'll be fine. He is fine. He's okay. It hurts. Like, I mean, come on, we all know that. Anything to do with your chest or your back hurts like crazy. So it hurts, but he'll be okay. I promise. I promise. So I did have a couple people reach out, be like, oh my God, we like your dad. I know, he's been on a couple of videos. He's very funny. So he's okay. My mom was at the hospital with him today. They're just making sure he's good for a couple of days because it hurts. But what about here at the farm? Well, the birds are freaking nuts. We're all hanging out over here. And these guys, this group that's here right now, this group all the way over here, these guys were up on the roof. Why? I don't know why they were up on the roof. I do not know why they were up on the roof, but I was throwing things at them till they got down. It seemed like the best option at the time. Not anything heavy. I was like throwing those foam balls the dogs chew on. So it's fine. The ducks are hanging out over here. Somebody said they hadn't seen much of the ducks in the last couple of days. They're alive. They're okay. They're alive. It's okay. All right? They are okay. I promise. Shadowfax is here, being a boob. He's a very good boob. We love him. And there's DK. DK is my farm shadow currently. It changes, and Wildfire. DK and Wildfire are my farm shadows. So, everyone's doing okay. We did have a little bit of a problem when the delivery guy came because Shadowfax and Arwen were both out, and they both thought he had snacks. So, I had to go rescue the delivery guy from the mini horse. It's okay. There was nothing aggressive happening. He was just like, I would really like a snack. So he thought it was pretty funny. He said if he'd had a snack, he would have brought a snack, and can he bring an apple for Shadowfax next time? And I said yes. Of course I said yes. You want to bring an apple for him? Bring an apple for him. He loves apples. So it's kind of doing this weird gooey snowing thing right now. Like it's snowing, but the moment it hits you, it's like turning to this gooey ice on your cheeks. So it's really, really gross. Like really gross. I hate this kind of snow. And it's really, really windy. So it's not windy in here because we're really protected. But out there, once you get like up near the road, it's freakishly windy. So I'm not even going up there right now because it's too windy. And when you're up there, if you walk on the road or the driveway, you can start to feel the ice under your feet. So the roads ought to be delightful tonight. My dad, who's a trucker, doesn't have to go out because he's in the hospital. So yay. Good, because seriously, the roads last night and tonight, very slippery. This coming week, as the temperature starts to drop, it'll kind of do this. The roads are going to suck. What? But the roads are going to suck for this week. Okay? They're going to completely suck. And why is that a problem? Because I'm getting a hay delivery. I'm not desperate for hay, so if he needs to hold off an extra week, it's not a big deal. I still have like 20 bales left, so it's not a big deal. I've still got 20 bales will get me till like February. Our hay eaters don't eat very many. They're little smaller bales, the small square bales. We mostly have just Shadowfax and Arwen free ranges most of the time. She's over here now. Arwen free ranges most of the time, and Shadowfax is out several hours a day. So they don't go through a ton of hay. And Shadowfax is on pellets primarily right now to try to keep his weight under control. Okay? So it's not really that big a deal. That if the hay delivery gets delayed by a week or two, it's not a big deal. But if the roads are going to be that nasty, I'd rather he not try. Because, oh, it's getting windy over here too. But I'd rather he not try to deliver hay in the bad weather, just because, frankly, when the roads get real slick and you got a trailer, it's not fun. So I already talked to him. We're supposed to have hay delivery on Tuesday. It looks like it's going to be kind of nasty on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, but next week is going to be bad. So we're already thinking of just, if he wants to, I told him, you know what, just reschedule. I'm always home. I do not worry about not being home because I'm always home. I live here, I work from home. So I'm not particularly worried about it. Okay. I'm not really that worried. So all of that being said, everyone's doing fine. You know, the weather kind of sucks. I would rather just get cold and stay cold instead of this, just get cold. We're Canadians here. We handle cold really well. What we hate is this in between where everything's covered in ice. I'd really rather it not. Like the grass under my feet, when I slide my feet over it, you can feel the ice forming. I would rather it not do that. Let's just get cold, stay cold, call it winter and be done. But I don't control the weather, so I don't get to control that. However, everybody's doing just fine. I find the ice more annoying than the animals do. I don't love the ice for Shadowfax because or Arwen. Hooved creatures on ice is generally a bad idea. So, we throw a lot of sand for traction just so that he doesn't slip. Because that's like the kiss of death right there. If your horse slips and gets hurt on the ice, you don't want that. So definitely, if you have hooved animals, try to keep them off the ice. If the area you have them in and you don't have another option has a lot of ice, then throw some sand on top of that ice. Do the best you can. You can use like an ice melter that's animal safe. Use an ice melter, throw sand on top of that, and hope for the best. There's only so much you can do, to be honest. There comes a point where you can't do anything else. Right? There does come a point where anything else is just not going to work. But you do the best you can with the situation as just presented. Okay. Time to get to the question that I got. So the question that I got today is, how do you keep your free-range chickens and your cats from causing chaos on the farm? The answer is you don't. And that sounds like a non-answer, but hi, little miss. Hi, sweetheart. That's my little miss. This little miss. I love little miss. Anyway, you don't, okay? I know it sounds like a non-answer, but if you want your chickens to not cause chaos on the farm, you can't free-range them. That's just the way it goes. Because free-ranging your chickens naturally means they're going to do stupid things and cause chaos of all kinds on your farm. In our case, they're up on the roof today. Because, yay? I don't know. We don't even ask anymore. But, yes, chickens and cats cause a lot of chaos. The chickens more than the cats. Do cats cause chaos? Yeah, a certain amount. They're cats, right? They're little chaos goblins. But free-range chickens are worse. Free-range chickens will knock over your feed bags. Free-range chickens, yes, they will. Free-range chickens, you want to go down? I'd rather I lift you rather than you jump. You're kind of delicate. But free-range chickens will knock over your feed bags and knock down your hay and get up on top of your car and poop on the roof. Because, chickens. They're kind of like goats in that way. Like, goats cause an inordinate amount of problems. Not Arwen. Arwen's a sweetheart. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't cause her fair share of problems. She's a sweetie, and I would never call her a chaos goblin because she is the most perfect goat in all the land. However, right now she's stripping bark off a tree that I don't really want her to strip bark off of, and I don't care. Because there's not really much you can do. There's a bunch of chickens in this bush. There's a bunch of chickens in this bush. Because, chickens, man. Chickens. Okay, I'm just looking. Why do you guys all have to be out here? Yeah, when you have free-range chickens, there's not a whack ton you can do to keep them out of chaos, from causing chaos on the farm. Yeah, there's a bunch of chickens this way. I'm just going to check. There's a whole bunch. There's one right there, but there's a whole bunch back in there. Like back here. There's a whole bunch. It's hard to see them. There's like probably 12, 15 back there. But I'm going to be honest. When it comes to chickens causing chaos, if you don't want them to, you need to lock them up. So I love free ranging. Free ranging is something I am passionate about, and we do it as much as we can. Hey, we do it with our horse when we can. I love free ranging. It's amazing. It is absolutely what I want to do more than just about anything. But it would be remiss of me to pretend that that is without its own set of problems, right? It would not be fair of me to pretend like that doesn't lead to its own set of problems. So if you're going to free range, quail are making noise, but if you're going to free range, then what you definitely want to be doing is making sure that the dangerous places for your birds are locked down. Okay? So if there's a shed you don't want them in, you've got to chicken-proof that shed. They're not going to stay out of it. That shed back there, that shed is closed. Why is that shed closed? Because we don't want them in there. We had a rooster a few months ago, I guess, 4 or 5 months ago. A rooster named Jeremy. And I know we got to put more goo down here because this is a little bumpy for my taste. But yeah, we're looking good in here. Oh, hi, Spark. I was like, where is that sound coming from? No, we're doing good. Yeah, we're doing good. Hi, Spark. But essentially, the birds are going to cause chaos no matter what. So keep them out. So Jeremy, the story of Jeremy. We talked about this on a previous farm vlog, but that was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And basically, Jeremy was a rooster that I really liked. And we used to have that shed open, right? We used to have that shed open all the time because we didn't care. But the chickens got up to their chicken nonsense, and they ended up essentially knocking the feed bags over, and Jeremy got squished. It was very sad, right? It was very upsetting. We love Jeremy. He was a good rooster. He was one of our keepers. And ever since that happened, we've just closed that shed. Because that's where we stack our feed bags. So we just closed that shed. They can't go in there anymore. And I didn't really care if they got in the feed. That literally doesn't bother me. Okay? I don't care if they get in the feed. That's not anything even close to what I worry about. Like, I don't care. Get in the feed, don't get in the feed. It doesn't bother me. I'm just looking for the turkey. I saw him earlier. And I'm trying to stay out of the windy areas. So I'm not going that way because there's lots of wind that way. So I stopped going the direction I was going. But all of that being said, oh, I think he's down there. Yeah, he is. Just going this way for a minute. But the chickens are not going to stop being chaos goblins. They're just not. So your responsibility then is to decide what level of chaos goblinness you want. And in our case, we just didn't want that much chaos goblinness. So we shut the shed. Oh, it's so windy out here. I just want to see what this is on the ground. I don't like it. It's a rock. Okay. Let's get out of... Oh, this is windy. I don't like this at all. Thank you very much. That's why we don't go this way. Because it's windy. Yeah. That's what's happening. It's windy. We don't want to go this way. Let's get out of here. Anyway. That's so not the point. Hi, Bowser! Hi, sweetie. That's my Bowser. So the point of that whole story was just to say you have two options. Either lock up the zones where you really don't want your chickens, or lock up the chickens. Hi, Bow. That's my Bowser. She was missing for a couple weeks. What was that? I think that was Blue. Because I saw him down there. Anyway. The whole point is keep your chickens out of the spaces where you are worried about them being in. So if you don't want them in your garage and you want them to free range, close your garage. You can't leave the garage door open and expect that they won't go in there. They're chickens. Okay? They're chickens. And we love chickens, but they are naturally chaos goblin chickens. That's what they do. Hi, ducks. So, yeah. Make sure that you are keeping your chickens out of the chaos zones. Because there's no stopping your chickens from causing chaos. So, that is the answer to that question. The chickens are bigger chaos goblins than cats. I promise. Every time, I promise. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. I spent a lot of time talking about Jeremy and chickens. And that's better. I want that angle. Hello, Bowser. She's my shadow. I love Bowser. But that is essentially the answer to that. Oh, it's gross out here. There's birds out on the corner. I don't know why they want to be out here. That's gross on this side. Let's go back in. Anyway, that is going to be about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. That was a really boring farm vlog, but I think it's an important question to answer. Because if you don't want them to cause chaos, you shouldn't have them free ranging. We'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Hopefully. It's snowing more now. Great. We'll see you tomorrow.